My name is Omar Shihab, and I'm an alumnus of the American University of Sharjah of the year 2002. I am the founder of restaurant Boca, based in Dubai's International Financial Center. I am also the Chief Sustainability Officer of the restaurant. Sustainability has been part of the restaurant since its inception in 2014. When we created the restaurant, we believed that we have enough creative people living and working here in the UAE, in Sharjah, in Dubai, that we can come up with a world-class concept that could rival any import from anywhere in the world. And with that in mind, we also wanted to pay tribute to local ingredients, being a homegrown brand. So we looked to the coast, we looked to the 1,318 kilometers of coastline that we have access to here in the UAE, and we started sourcing fish and seafood from the market, something that happens usually in any establishment, in any restaurant, anywhere in the world. But we wanted to focus on that, and we wanted to focus on the slightly more sustainable fish variety. So we approached the fishing calendar of the Ministry of Climate Change and Environment. And with that in mind and with that in hand, we started experimenting and introducing new variety that you don't regularly see in commercial kitchens. That then evolved into a conscious waste management approach. So we started by identifying the amounts of waste that we produce. We segregated six variety, and we assigned a waste officer on site to make sure that we're not just segregating everything correctly during the busy operational hours, but taking measurement of everything that leaves the restaurant. We now have more than 5 years worth of data. And with that data on every element of waste that we produce, we're able to take conscious decisions, whether it's internally through our different departments or production areas, or have new conversations with suppliers and have these discussions on what we can do with a lot of that waste that we're producing. We then moved into the resources that we use. And just like any business, just like any establishment, we consume a lot of energy to power the restaurant. So we started introducing basic saving and efficiency models within the restaurant, from switching off the lights before we leave to making sure that our maintenance is up to scratch, and retiring old equipment that is using perhaps a lot of energy or consuming a lot of that. We wanted to know to a large degree what is the impact of everything that we're doing in the restaurant, from local sourcing to waste management to resource efficiency. And for that, we hired a local carbon management consultancy called Element 6, and they came on board to audit our entire operation and production life cycles to produce a carbon emissions report. And with that, we have a baseline now of our current impact. And with that, we're able to make pledges and commitments and move forward with our entire approach. Of course, a very important element of sustainability is the people's element. And for that, we have committed to obviously making sure that the welfare of the people that work for us is first of all taken care of, but then also contributing back into the community through the charities that we support and through the organizations that we assist throughout the year. So that has been the sustainability journey of Boca. And that's what led us to obviously the different accolades and different awards. One of the most prominent and important one was receiving the Michelin Green Star Award at the recent Michelin Reveal in Dubai. New startups in the region, in order for you to assimilate and move into a slightly more sustainable operation, I think it takes, first of all, commitment. Understanding that this is something that you want to have as an integral part of the restaurant. It starts with that. And then it starts with the educational part. Understanding how do you fit in the overall value chain that is specific to your industry. Who are your suppliers? Where do you purchase your raw material? Or if you're running a service operation, what is your internal community? So understanding exactly where do you stand, where do you fall along the lines of the SDGs of the United Nations, or the commitments that the UAE and the Emirates have made within sustainability. And from that point onwards, you want to make certain commitments. You want to make certain pledges. Start by measuring, start by measuring your current impact, no matter what it is on that spectrum, and make certain pledges and set, obviously, a trajectory and a strategy towards achieving those, and have a constant approach of educating yourself. There are no two sustainability journeys that are the same, so everyone is very unique, and all it takes is this constant questioning, this constant curiosity, in order to achieve that greater sustainability aspect that we all aspire to be. In the industry, as restaurateurs, as chefs, we have 1,001 things to do on a daily basis. But I think the moment that you start understanding how we fall within the food system, start understanding how we really deserve a seat when it comes to topics of climate change and environment and conservation in general. We make up 1/3 of global greenhouse emissions. That's coming from the food industry. 1/3 of the world's food is never consumed, and food waste contributes to 10% of the world's food waste. 1 out of 10 people are employed by the hospitality industry. We contribute to 10% of the world's GDP. So not only do we have the biggest responsibility, but perhaps the greatest opportunity to make a difference and make a change. And the moment that we have this realization, it's really like a bell that we cannot unring. From that point onwards, it's all about questioning. It's all about understanding where we fall within the value chain, questioning where we receive our products. Who are the people who are growing our vegetables or tending to the farms that are providing our fish and seafood and our meat, and really understanding what is the amount of waste that we're producing, what is the quantity, and what are the priority, what are some of the low-hanging fruits that we can eliminate in order to have less of an impact. So really the moment that you start questioning everything that you do, the moment that you start realizing and seeing things with a different lens, and then it's about measuring, it's about making commitments, and it's about continuing to make changes within the industry. So obviously the Conference of the Parties, the COP28, is meant to be a high-level government interaction in order to set pledges and set commitments. This is also meant to be one of the most inclusive conferences and one of the most inclusive COPs that happen. So there is a lot of involvement from the private sector. This is also meant to be a conference where the caterers are being actually called in to the room in order to align a lot of the things that they're doing, a lot of their operation, to the higher commitment goals that they're setting. So I am aware of the catering organizations, the catering committee that exists within COP. They've got a monster effort and a monster job to complete by aligning a lot of their providers into a better, obviously, operation. So they've set out a lot of guidelines in terms of packaging, in terms of the calorie makeup of the food, in terms of the emissions of the food. So there is actually a detailed program that's running. This is an incredible opportunity to create that, perhaps, framework that could set standards moving forward, whether it's for future conferences or the catering business in general. For recent graduates, I say, stay curious. If there is one thing that I definitely would like people to have, is to stay curious, because the one skill that you want to take out of university is the ability to continuously learn. It is a changing world. Whatever we're studying today might not be applicable in 1-2 years. So what you want to be able to do is to continue to ask questions, is to continue to be inquisitive about everything that is surrounding, following the trail of the source, following the trail of where products come from, how do businesses interact, how do geopolitical elements implicate a lot of the things that we receive in our country. So continue to be inquisitive, continue to be curious, and continue to learn.